All right, Devin, welcome to the experience.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, for those who are here for the first time and those who have joined again, we are playing a game called Earth Experiences, a segment of the Dear Creator podcast. Earth Experience is also a podcast where we're listening to people's experiences on Earth. But I thought that maybe we start to gamify it. I'm trying out some games with the guests that are coming on the show and also giving creators an opportunity to share what type of content that they are submitting into the world. What are their passions and who are they before we play our game? So, Devin, the stage is yours. Introduce yourself to the people. Who are you?
Hey everyone, so I'm Devin Garcia. I am the founder of Stretch Love Yoga. I'm a wife and a mom to a very energetic toddler, and I teach yoga in person and online.
Perfect. So for those who want to get connected with you, I don't know if you have services online or if it's physical, but how can they get in contact with you? Websites, handles, anything
They
of that
just
nature.
go over to stretchloveyoga.com, and right when you go on there, there's like a little freebie if anybody's interested. It's called Flexibility Secrets, and my Instagram is at stretchloveyogi.
Perfect. And then one last question before we start the game, Devin. What does peace mean to you?
Peace means to have like um, inner calm and not be affected too much by everything that's going on in the crazy world, I would say.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Now it's time to play the game. So
Yay!
here are the instructions. And I apologize to Devin if if any of this content that comes up is a little bit uncomfortable, but we have no idea what's going to come up. But there's a plethora of games and then about 7 different links that we're going to review today. And just as you, as the viewer, are watching, this is just an experience. We are playing with these thoughts in a way that's intentional. We're getting creative with our thinking skills, trying to think in a direction that could be supportive or even thinking in opposite sides for the majority of the games. So, what I'm going to do now, Devin, is I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to have numbers and letters that come up. All I need you to do is choose 7 of them. You don't have to remember them, but as you choose them, I'm going to write them down so I can get the right links for today's game. So whatever link you choose, whatever number or letter you choose, there's a link associated with it.
Okay.
All right. So whenever you're ready, just call out 7.
Okay, 7 like letters and numbers.
Yep.
Okay, let's do X,
Okay.
22, 11, E, Q, 74. How many is that?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more.
Okay, one more. Let's do 68.
Okay, 68. Perfect. All right. So we have our first letter is X, and then give me 1 second. I'm just going to pull up the link for X, and then I'm going to send it over to you in the chat.
Sure.
All right. So once you watch this video, there are 7 assignments, and there are only 7 assignments throughout the experience. So once you use one up, you won't be able to use the other, but I'll let you know what that experience is once you choose it. Okay.
Okay.
All right, perfect. Most of these are going to be about some tough topics, maybe some controversial issues, but we're going to approach it in a delicate way because this is
Okay.
simplified, but we're also going to be intentional with our thoughts, just
Okay.
for those who are listening. So have fun with it.
The way we got in this situation is pretty simple to explain. Basically, when Nixon was discovered having committed Watergate, people thought the Republican Party was washed up. But a clever staffer on in Nixon's White House came up with an idea for how to get more new Republican voters to replace all the people that were turned off by the corruption that had just been exposed, and perhaps save the party. His name was Lee Atwater. And he said, I know where there's all kinds of disgruntled white people. All you got to do is appeal to them over their anger about the end of Jim Crow and about school desegregation and about the Civil Rights Act. And these are the words that you'll say to kind of trigger them. Then we call these the racist dog whistles. And you will send a message to them that they are welcome in the Republican Party. And starting in the mid-70s to the mid-80s, there was a massive change in voter registration from Democrat to Republican on the part of all of these racists and lowlifes and ignorant people. At the same time, Trump started to have political ambitions. Now, it turns out Trump has an IQ of about 73. He barely functions as an adult. If it were not for the fact that his father gave him a lot of money, he wouldn't be able to function as an adult. Trump has less money now than he would have had if he'd just taken the money he got from his father and put it in an index fund in the stock market and just let it sit. But he's gradually played around with it all these years and lost it in all his lawsuits and so forth, and his 6 bankruptcies, and he's dissipated a fortune over his lifetime. Now, he's had the Russians for the last 20 years to bail him out, but ordinary people cannot be as dumb as Trump and still function. But Trump came out onto the public stage and started talking boldly like he wanted to do things politically and help the people of America, and he speaks like a third grader, because that's what somebody with an IQ of 73 talks like, even if they're an adult. Linguists have analyzed his speech, and they've made it plain. He speaks English at a third grade level. This energized dumb people, because for the first time they could understand a presidential candidate. And they said things like, "Oh, he speaks his mind. He's the first guy that doesn't use a bunch of fancy words and confuse me. Now I finally understand what he's saying." And of course, what he was saying was a lot of things they wanted to hear. They were the racist dog whistles. And so you had a beautiful alliance from their perspective of racists and stupid people. The lower 12% of the IQ distribution corresponds perfectly to Trump's supporters. Now, these people are so intelligent that there's actually a federal statute that prohibits their induction into military service. They didn't want to have a repeat, Congress didn't want to have a repeat of the McNamara's morons incident from Vietnam, which is a notorious thing you can look up on your own. McNamara's morons, it's called. Basically, we had a Secretary of Defense who had the idea that, hey, why don't we recruit low intelligence people, send them to war and see what happens. And what happened was they died in droves, and of course things got worse. And so they didn't want that to happen again, so they actually passed a law. You're not allowed to recruit and induct into military service the lowest 12% on the IQ range. But they're still allowed to vote, and Trump energized them. He made dumb people think that they finally understood politics. He made people strut around proud of themselves, thinking that they had a grasp of the issues, because they could tell on some level that Trump wasn't much smarter than they were, but there he was, a big shot. So he seemed like a champion for them. Now, of course, all these people forget that they aren't rich. They didn't have a dad hand them the equivalent of $412 million. And they can't do the things that Trump does, and they can't get away with the things Trump has gotten away with. And even Trump himself is not going to get away with them indefinitely. But the stage has been set, and this is where we're at. Basically, we have a fanatical core of low intelligence voters that are solidly behind Trump. They will back him no matter what he does or says, because they don't care what he does or says. They just know he's their guy. They understand him. They like him. He talks to them in a way that they can comprehend, and they are fanatical in their support of him. He has given them what they see as dignity and strength. And then at the other end of the spectrum are smart people from all walks of life. I actually used to be a Republican myself. I'm ashamed to admit it now, but I know I'm not alone. I mean, millions of people who make sure that they turn out to vote against Trump used to be actual Republicans, because the Republican Party is now nothing but a loony bin of the very low intelligent, and there's just no way that you can be associated with them at all. So now it's going to be, some range of conservative to liberal Democrats again, except that it'll mean something different than it used to mean. I mean, those Democrats won't be conservative because they're racist garbage people from the South. They'll be conservative because they have some other philosophy about the role of the market or of private enterprise or something like that in the economy. At any rate, this is the problem we have. It's basically now just the very low intelligent versus the high intelligence. And the thing is going to be decided by undecided people who don't pay any attention. People in the middle that don't pay attention to politics, no matter whether the politicians are smart or dumb. They just show up on election day and try to do their best. Those are the people you have to reach. You have to get them interested. You have to explain to them what's going on. They have to be told Trump is a moron and he wants to be a dictator, and he's got a million morons behind him that want him to be a dictator. We cannot let that happen.
All right, so the clip has finished. So here are the options that we have for the game. There's A, the backstory, B, the qualifier, C, the assumption auditor, the mood meter, personal policy, in the comments, or minute seminar. Which one are you going to choose for this one? And I'll let you know what the game is after you choose.
Okay. Let's go with the backstory.
Okay, perfect. So the backstory is I'm going to give you 60 minutes. 60 minutes. Whoa. Like, wait a second. That video was already super long. 60 seconds on the clock. And you're going to imagine what the backstory is for the creator of this video. So,
like why he decided to make this video?
Yeah, absolutely. And it could be something that you're drawn from his childhood. It could be something that you are completely making up, something that you're pulling from the content. But the goal here is to imagine what you think the backstory is. How did he get here? Let me know when you're ready, and I'm going to put 60 seconds on the clock.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, 60 seconds starting now.
All right, so I think he made this video because there's so much in the news right now, and there's so much that is hard to disseminate what is real and what is false. And from his viewpoint, he wanted to share what he knew, which some of it I'd never heard of before. So that was interesting. And I think that from what it seemed like, he knew a lot of stuff from back in the Nixon era, and he wanted to maybe share that to help the people he described as the middle people who aren't really following politics, so that they will vote, and they'll hopefully vote in his favor, because obviously that's what he's trying to accomplish there. And he's really trying to demonstrate what he thinks of Trump.
All right, 60 seconds. Great job. So, for those who are playing along with us, let us know your backstory in a comment, or you can play their thought, our thought, or remix based on what Devin just shared with us. Do you agree with the backstory that she said? Then our thought, she shared it. Does it completely belong to Devin? You don't agree with anything she says. It's not a good backstory. Put their thought and then remix. There's some parts that you liked about the story, and then others you don't. All right, so now we're on to the next number that you chose, which was 22. Perfect.
If you do not know something, if you realize you do not know something, because most people do not realize that they do not know. If you realize that you do not know, it's very natural for your intelligence to seek to know. It doesn't need a guru, it doesn't need a scripture, it doesn't need somebody to introduce that to you. It is in the nature of your intelligence that you wish to know. So this longing to know, when it finds a very intense expression in the form of seeking, we call this spiritual process. Or in other words, the basis of spirituality is a realization that I do not know. But the moment you say, I'm religious, you refer to yourself as a believer. When you say you're a believer, what you're saying is, everything that I do not know, I will make it up. You kind of make a compromise in your life that instead of truth, you settle for an authority as the truth. Spiritual process means truth is the only authority for you. Authority is never the truth for you.
Okay.
All right, so now we have 6 more assignments left. We have the qualifier, the assumption auditor, the mood meter, personal policy, in the comments, or minute seminar. Which one do you want to choose for this one?
Let's go with assumption auditor. I have no idea what that is.
All right, so the assumption auditor, 60 seconds on the clock, we are going to try to identify any assumptions that were made. This could be assumptions that you made, and it could be inspired by the clip, or assumptions that you think that the creator and the clip made. 60 seconds on the clock. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right.
So probably his assumption in the clip was that if you're being spiritual, you're seeking truth. Maybe some people are just seeking like comfort or some help in a situation that they have no control over. And maybe when he was saying, when you call yourself religious, that you fill in the gaps where you don't have facts, which could be true for sure, but it also, I think, could be an assumption. And yeah, I think that's about it for that.
All right, so we're ready for the next clip with 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. I just have to go to the whole minute because I need to hear the sound.
Yeah.
Is it possible to be racist against white people?
Yes.
What would you say?
I don't really think so.
Why not?
Well,
It's a race.
I mean, I guess so.
Because if you're biased towards any race, that's just wrong.
Let me ask you this. What's the definition of racism?
Not liking someone based on their skin color or their origin. Oh, it's raining.
All right, that one's done.
All right, so here are your options that are left. We have the qualifier, the mood meter, personal policy, in the comments, or minute seminar.
Let's do the qualifier.
All right, so the qualifier is 60 seconds on the clock. You're going to try to identify at least 2 questions that you have for any of the creators in the video. So if there's multiple creators, then you might choose one or the other, maybe the interviewer or the interviewee, and questions that you have for the audience that's watching after they watch the clip with us.
Okay.
If you could think of 2, at least, if you have more for the 60 seconds, then the stage is.
All right, so I guess the first question I would think of would be, because I don't really know the context of the clip, I'm wondering why the interviewer is asking that question. And my second question would be for the audience, I guess, like how would you feel about being asked that question just like out in public?
All right, and it's 2 for each. So one more for the interviewer or the creators in the clip, and then one more for the audience.
Okay. So for the interviewer, I would also ask, like, I guess, what was he hoping to get out of the question? And then I guess for the first girl who questioned her friend, I guess hopefully they're friends, like, why did she feel the need to like interrupt the second girl and ask her question?
All right. Here is your next clip.
Oh my god. 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 Okay. Hold on.
Finally went to sleep at like 2 something in the morning. I was like, oh Lord.
Hi, baby. Oh my god. Oh my god. Because of you believing in me, sewing in me to get my dash cam, it took me out of hiding. Because then I had to admit that I was driving Uber. We had just walked away from my singing career that I was so proud of. Was just celebrated in Indiana about all my accomplishments. And then I came here and I was an Uber driver. And I could not see what God was doing in that moment. But when I tell you the videos that I've been able to share have been life-changing, not just to the world, but to me. And as a result, I have actually filmed my first national commercial as the rideshare queen. And the most ironic thing about this, and I don't even own a car. I've been renting this car for a year. And because of this commercial that I was able to film, I'm going to be able to buy a car finally after a year. And if you had not sold in me, I need you to open up this gift for you. You sold into me, and I have to sew back into you, plus a little interest. So you need to open your gifts. You changed my life. You saw me. Thank you.
Congratulations. I don't
No. You changed my life, and I'm just forever indebted to you. Because you just don't even understand how I was hiding. And I found a way to show my light in this car. And I was able to spread love and joy. And actually I started really enjoying it. And God honored that humility. I'm telling you, when I say life is happening for you, it's really happening for you. And so, like, don't be afraid of the breaking process. But I had to come here and I had to pay it back forward. And you pay it back forward and you continue. I'm telling you, like, after you had shared your story with me, it was the hardest gift that I could ever receive. I
was struggling too.
I know. I'm talking about. I'm like, are you sure? And I still remember you sent me $150 for the dash cam. So open your gift. I said I had to pay you back plus some interest. Okay? And I wish it was even more, honestly. And I promise you this.
Girl, no! I know you did it!
All right.
Okay, so these are the games that we have left. We have the mood meter, the personal policy, and the comment or minute seminar.
Let's do the mood meter.
Okay, I had a feeling you was going to choose that one. All right, so here's the one where I come into the game. So the mood meter, I'll have 60 seconds on the clock, but you are going to have I'll have 50 seconds on the clock. You're going to use the first 10 seconds to let us know what mood you draw from the content you just watched. Now, this mood could be a mood that is assigned to you, the mood you think the audience have, the mood of anyone in the video, and then I'm going to say why I think you chose that mood.
Okay.
All right, so 60 seconds on the clock. What mood did you choose?
Joy.
Joy. Okay. I'm going to say that you chose joy because of the driver. Maybe you are pulling from the joy that she has because of because she was just happy. Okay. Joy is happiness because she was happy about what someone did for her. I think that if we saw more engagement like this in the world, that it would spark more joy, not only for the giver, but for the receiver. It's almost like one of those things that this is what I give you and this is what you get in return. And it's one of those cycles that we want to exist instead of it being like, I hate you and I hate you too. We just go in this cycle. Instead it's like, I love you and I love you too. And it just keeps spreading and spreading and spreading. So I feel joy. Okay, time's up.
Yes, totally.
Okay, so we're almost.
I wish we'd ended on that one.
Yeah, I know, right? We did it. Absolutely. Okay, here's Q.
All right, I'm gonna open it now.
There's not a lot of conversation about the disadvantages of being attractive. One, as a woman, you will have a hard ass time making friends. I've met people who gravitate towards me because I'm attractive, because they think in proximity they will get some of my privileges. I've had friends that cut me off out of the blue for literally no reason. I have friends that have told me to humble myself. It's gonna be hard to date. I've met men who just want to be with me to be a trophy. I've had boyfriends who have not been able to deal with the amount of attention I get and therefore take it out on me. I've been stalked. I've been followed home. I've been stalked by ex-boyfriends. I've been groped. I've been graped. I've been assaulted. I've been through a lot because I'm attractive. It's not for the weak. And when people talk about pretty privilege, yes, I will get a free meal. I will get free entry. I will get preferential treatment. A lot of times I don't have to pay for stuff. That's great. But I wouldn't say it's comparable to the amount of detriments being attractive has put me in. Lord knows I'm very grateful that my mother picked an attractive sperm donor that gave me this face, but it has definitely made life a bit more challenging. When you are an attractive person, especially an attractive woman, you will need to walk around and protect yourself physically, mentally, everyly, from everyone, because they will be attracted to you. They will be coming for different reasons, and you're gonna have to be able to keep them away. As a woman who's attractive, you need to learn how to defend yourself. I'm in the gym 5 times a week, getting strong as somebody walks up on me, they're gonna get. You need to learn how to read people. You need to pay attention to your surroundings. You need to not get gas late at night. You need to be on your P's and Q's, and you need to be extremely intelligent. I once had someone pretend to be a business, sent me an email saying that they would fly me and my brand, I have a swimsuit line, to another country to do a photo shoot. Everything seemed extremely legitimate. They even sent photos of other women that will be attending the event. They fucked up because one of the women in the photos is someone I know. I messaged them. They had no idea what I was talking about. This pervert was trying to lure me out to another country to do God knows what with me. This is what you get for being attractive.
All right, that one's done.
Okay, so here are the assignments we have left. Personal policy in the comments or a minute seminar.
Let's do personal policy.
Personal policy. All right, so 60 seconds on the clock. This is inspiration from the video you just watched, a reaction. You're going to create a personal policy from yourself. This is boundaries or even a policy that you might consider for other people. And it doesn't have to actually be about the clip. It could just be what's inspired because of the clip. So I'm going to put 60 seconds on the clock. Ready and go.
All right. So I think that based on this clip, it's a good reminder for people to always try to remember that you may be looking at someone else and thinking the grass is greener on their side, but you just have no idea what people are going through. And it could be absolutely anybody. Like in this clip, it was somebody talking about being attractive. It could be somebody who looks like they have all the money in the world. It could be somebody who you think looks like scary or creepy. So like to always be mindful that you don't know what other people are going through, but at the same time, you know, put up your own boundaries and be protective of yourself.
All right, next video. We are 2 more left. We have 74 and 68. So here's 74.
Do y'all know what happens every time the government loses control of the people? The first thing that they do is try to make us dependent on them. Why? Because they were hired to give us services. The first thing that they do is inflate the price of everything so that nobody can afford anything. And then huge corporations start laying off people in enormous amounts. And now you do not have the means to survive. And so what are you going to do? They're probably going to offer some type of program to try to help people after they have caused the problem. And all of this is happening right now, and I don't think anybody is paying attention. The reason why they're making these cop cities is because one day you are going to be paying attention.
All right.
Okay, so here are the last two in the comments or minute seminar.
All right, I'm not sure what to choose here, so I'm just going to go with the first one in the comments.
In the comments. Okay, so 60 seconds on the clock. You can take that link that we just looked at, and you're going to go through the comments. And by the end of 60 seconds, you're going to find the comment that stands out to you the most, and then you let us know why.
Okay. I'm at the comments. All right, should I read the comment?
Yes, read the comment.
Okay, so one that stood out is that this person, mz.fane88, said, baby, we paying attention, we just don't know how to come together and build up, so we don't need them. People are so busy scrambling to survive that we don't come together and buy land and each person grow their own stuff and trade for food. And people who know how to invent stuff don't want to share the knowledge, so we can have free lights because that stuff is natural. We don't need gas, for real. So that can be eliminated, and we have people that can build, so we can have all our own houses on our own land. It's crazy.
Good job. All right, so I know we're after the 60 seconds, but tell us why you chose that comment.
I chose it because it kind of like struck a note that it's kind of true that like a lot of people do feel that way, that they wish they could do something, but they just don't know how to, and you can't really do something like that on your own. Yeah, so that's why it kind of stuck out to me.
All right, so then we have the last link, 68.
This is me and this is my wife, and this is not 2 points coming together. It's never towards each other. We both walk towards a common point where there's a little bit of me and there's a little bit of her and there's a new us that forms. And that is what we are searching for. So sometimes wo galti kya karte hain, we have to reach towards each other. We never have to reach towards each other. We have to reach to a place which is common, which is comforting for both of us, where there's a little bit of her and there's a little bit of me.
All right.
All right, so the last game is minute seminar. So with 60 seconds on the clock, based off of what you just watched, the clip you just watched, you're going to give us a minute seminar. That can be a seminar based off of some content that he shared, anything that you want to elaborate on. It can be what's inspired by the watching the content. What do you want to share with the world? How do you want to end us off in your 60 seconds?
All right. So in this clip, he's talking about relationships, and it seems like a really nice way to put something, that you're not trying to like reach towards each other. So what I think he means there is that the husband's not trying to like always compromise and be on the wife's side and vice versa. They're trying to reach a common goal, which I think is a really nice way of putting it, because relationships take work, and on both sides, it's not just one person reaching for the other or vice versa. And I think he's trying to say like that's a really good way to look at a relationship, and I think a lot of people maybe don't. And so it's good advice to have for people looking to improve, because progress is always great, and it takes practice to be good at something.
Absolutely. So we did it, Devin. Yay!
Yay! And that was a really nice one to leave off on. I'm glad I chose X as number one and not as the last one.
Yeah. Me too. I'm glad it did end on a happier note. I do want to give you an opportunity, because I know that these were all random and you didn't know what you're going to get today. You didn't know which assignment which was going to be placed with which video clip. Is there any clip that you want to elaborate on, or you want to speak to a little bit differently based off of the assignment that you were given?
I don't think so. I really enjoyed the nice and joyful videos, like the last one and that one of the lady being grateful to the guy who helped her out with her dash cam and stuff. And yeah, I just think that like there's so much negative news out there, and it's important to be up to date on current events, but it's really nice to sprinkle in joyful stuff too, so you don't get too caught up in the negative stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And I have to keep that in mind because I will scroll through content. I'm like, oh my goodness, what is going on? That's another idea. That's another thought. But I did like that option of sprinkling in that joy, and I'm glad that we were able to get that out of the pool today.
Yeah.
Because so when I seen that video, I was just like, yeah, this is so sweet. And I thought like, well, maybe there's a way to even speak to these pieces of content. But that is the end of today's show. I appreciate you sharing your time with us, Devin. If there was anything you take away from today's show, I hope that it can add to you and your services. If there was something that you learned that you can use as you continue to create content, even if you're not a content creator, but just creating content as you deal with people in your world. Any closing remarks before we head out, or anything else that you want to share with people who can connect with you?
I just want to thank you once again for having me on. And yeah, if you, so I teach yoga and flexibility. Lots of people want to do fun, crazy poses. So if you want a little free resource on my website, just go to stretchloveyoga.com and you can get it there.
Perfect. Until next time, everyone, hold on to you as much as you can. Hold on to your health, your being, and your mind. Bye.